Right now, live at 5 as protests continue across the nation, a look at what's happening locally. Plus, new details from a second medical examiner shed more light on George Floyd's cause of death.
United Steelworkers show their support to those who have lost their jobs at Essentia Health.
Plus, today's the day restaurants in Minnesota can begin outdoor seating. Look at how business owners are adapting to the change.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. We have new details tonight after protests in Duluth this weekend led to an assault at this Quick Trip in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. Just hours ago, police gave a big update on that investigation. Good evening, I'm Kristen Vaki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. We have breaking news at 5. We are learning a medical examiner now lists George Floyd's death a homicide, saying his heart stopped while Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin restrained him and compressed his neck.
That news coming in just in the last few minutes, and we'll continue to update you as we learn more. Now, this comes as Duluth Police Chief Mike Tuskin shared more about the weekend's protests and what their plans are moving forward.
CBS 3's Ryan Campo joins us from that Quick Trip on West Superior, where a physical assault happened over the weekend. And police used tear gas Saturday night to disperse the protesters. Ryan.
Yeah, one of the biggest developments we learned today is that an arrest has been made following an assault of a Quick Trip employee. The Quick Trip right behind me. Chief Police Mike Tuskin says they are releasing a video later today of 2 possible suspects, hoping the public can help out the police. Mayor Emily Larson says there will be no curfew tonight, but she says they can put one in place if needed in the coming days. Tuskin says they've had a substantial police presence on the streets last night, making sure the community remains safe. They made 7 arrests last night, 6 adults and 1 juvenile. Both Tuskin and Larson thanked the community for how they showed up and for the big difference between Saturday and Sunday nights.
Because last night went well, because the community stepped up and provided the kinds of supports many of our residents have needed to feel, we do not have a curfew in the city of Duluth tonight. We had one on Saturday, we had one on Sunday night, we do not have one for tonight. We can revisit that moving forward, but I don't anticipate, based on what we are seeing, what Chief Tuskin is indicating, that we will need to do that.
Tuskin did say, although there won't be a curfew tonight, people should expect to see a substantial police presence once again to make sure nothing happens. Now, coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from the individual who's assaulted right here at this Quick Trip behind me on his thoughts of the night that was this past Saturday.
Okay, CBS 3's Ryan Campo live for us tonight. Thanks, Ryan.
While Duluth's curfew has expired, the city of Virginia still has restrictions in place. Virginia's curfew is in effect again from 10 tonight to 6 tomorrow morning. That applies to all public places in the city. The curfew follows an afternoon of peaceful protests in Virginia on Sunday.
The family of George Floyd says an independent autopsy has found that he died of asphyxiation from sustained pressure on his back and neck. Those findings were released this afternoon. The family's autopsy differs from the official autopsy as described in a criminal complaint. That autopsy ruled out asphyxiation or strangulation. The family's attorney, Ben Crump, says Officer Derek Chauvin should be charged with first-degree murder instead of third-degree murder.
Many protesters around the nation are also calling for the other 3 officers involved in Floyd's arrest to be charged. Elise Preston gives us a look at the last 24 hours of chaos around the country.
Terrence Floyd brought flowers and prayers to the spot in Minneapolis where his brother George was killed in a deadly encounter with police. He called for an end to the violence that has rocked the nation.
What are y'all doing? Y'all doing nothing, because that's not going to bring my brother back.
Floyd begged the crowd to bring change through political activism rather than the destruction which has scarred cities from coast to coast. Over the weekend, Los Angeles called in the National Guard to help control violent demonstrators.
They have not just caused chaos and damage. They are hijacking a moment and a movement and changing the conversation.
At moments, the protests have led to change. In Fort Lauderdale, an officer was suspended after shoving a kneeling demonstrator to the ground.
I can't breathe.
Daytime protests in New York have been mostly peaceful, but after dark, some of the gatherings have turned to vandalism and looting.
In Manhattan's iconic Soho district, looters smashed windows and ransacked these high-end stores. Neighbors came out to see the damage.
It was so brazen. They weren't afraid. They weren't embarrassed. They weren't trying to hide their faces.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says vandalism will not be tolerated, but understands the need for police reform.
People are demanding more change, and they have every right to, because they're in pain.
In the midst of a giant crowd of protesters in Brooklyn, 2 officers took a knee to show solidarity.
If I can take a knee with the community to garner and broker peace, then I'll get on my knee every day.
One police officer has been charged in Floyd's death, but activists in Minneapolis are calling for the arrest of 3 others who were there and didn't stop the brutality.
While Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says there's a feeling of optimism returning to the Twin Cities today, he did extend the area's curfew into Wednesday morning.
Minnesota news, bars and restaurants can now open for outdoor service. But as many business owners in our region had feared, the weather earlier today was not favorable. The Boat Club at Vickers was one restaurant that opened back up today. Owner Jason Vincent says he thinks the rain dampened turnout a bit this morning, saying patio service was a little slow since. However, he is glad to have face-to-face interaction with customers again.
Michigan's stay-at-home order has been lifted. Governor Gretchen Whitmer made that announcement this afternoon. Restaurants can reopen to dine-in customers next week, and she has eased the limits on gatherings. But gyms, hair salons, indoor theaters, and casinos will stay closed for now. Groups of up to 100 people can gather outside as long as they practice social distancing.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic in downtown Duluth this afternoon. A car caravan started at Miller Hill Mall and made its way to the Essentia St. Mary's building on 3rd Street.
The group was supporting the 900 Essentia workers who learned 2 weeks ago they were permanently laid off.
CBS3's Leanne Valdez heard from both sides today.
Our goal today is to get their attention.
This group, largely made up of United Steelworker members, suited up their cars
Yeah, we're going to leave as a group. Yep, all together.
to advocate for the 900 workers Essentia Health laid off last month, a move hospital leaders blamed on COVID-19 financial problems.
They're heroes. They should not be being laid off. We should be finding ways to keep them on.
The United Steelworkers Union represents a total of 2,069 Essentia employees who work in the janitorial, nursing, and front desk areas of the hospital. USW reps say none of their members were laid off, but they still wanted to show their support.
We would like to see no layoffs at all.
Meanwhile, Todd Schmitz with SEIU Healthcare made the trip from St. Paul to show support.
Healthcare workers are essential workers, and they should be rewarded with things like hero pay, not being let go.
Schmitz represents 9 Essentia employees in the Brainerd area who were laid off.
So we have dietary aides in the kitchen, and we have rehab aides.
President of Local 9460 United Steelworkers, Dina Hughes, fears if Essentia continues to lay off its workers, access to quality care if and when COVID-19 surge hits will be difficult to find.
As we all know, the surge hasn't hit yet for the COVID virus. And when it does, Essentia is going to need our members.
Essentia Health responded to Monday's car caravan, saying in part, quote, Essentia is doing everything possible to make sure we are here to make a healthy difference in the lives of our patients, not only for an expected influx of COVID-19 cases, but well into the future. Our mission and our values are what's at the heart of these difficult decisions.
As we reported 2 weeks ago, the Essentia layoffs are across the entire Essentia system. 55% of the impacted employees are in the Twin Ports area. The rest are in Brainerd, Fargo, and Detroit Lakes.
All right, let's turn to the weather. Dave, the morning kicked off with a few rumbles of thunder and flashes of lightning today, at least here in Duluth.
And a bit of rain, which we do need around here, but it didn't last very long, and there's only a slight chance we'll get more here tonight as an occluded, complicated low-pressure system lumbers its way through the region. In the wake of that low, well, things have been improving very nicely. Here's a look at what's going on in Twig right now, and it's gorgeous on Highway 53. The wet road of the morning has dried up, and traffic is moving unimpeded. Here's a look at that low-pressure system. An occluded low, of course, means that the cold front has overtaken the warm front. All the warm moisture has been shoved up aloft where it can convert into rain, and has been doing so around our region for a while. The wraparound of that low still brings in a slight chance for more sprinkles tonight, but in general, tomorrow should start to be warm and sunny for the region. A warm spell's coming our way, and our day planner for Tuesday shows that We're looking for high temps in the 80s for just about everybody in the region. The only exceptions may be right by the lake, where it will be cooler by said lake. We'll talk about how long this warm spell will last coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, $1 million improvement project breaks ground in Hermantown.
And coming up tonight at 6, Minnesota salons are back in business. We show you how your experience could change under new COVID-19 guidelines.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
The Garage. It's your space. Get a garage fit for man's best friend with our Doghouse 34 by 26 garage. Store all of the equipment you need today. No matter what you put in your space, trust us to build it right. Economy Garages. Built right, priced right.
Did you know there's a form of calcium that can actually replace bone where you've lost it? It's called MCHC. Check out Bone Maximizer at the Essence of Health.
Once Weibull Getz and Sieben was on our case, the response and the communication was really great.
You know, we weren't just another case. It was a relationship, and they treated us like part of their family, and the communication was amazing.
It was either emails, I got phone calls, just kind of, this is what's going on, this is what to expect, this is kind of where we're at. Just felt really good knowing that I was in really good hands with one of the best out there.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you with low prices and better choices.
Coming up Tuesday on CBS3 this morning, continuing coverage on the outcry and unrest across the country following the death of George Floyd.
In most areas, we'll see very warm temperatures heading into our Tuesday. I'll have the details on just how warm.
So wake up with us beginning at 5 a.m.
As businesses reopen, it's important to support the shops, dealerships, and service providers who hire local workers and drive our economy.
I don't know anybody that works at Amazon, but I have friends and neighbors who work at local businesses.
And you can help. Spend your money here. Shop local when you shop online. Mini deliver or have curbside pickup.
And they're keeping things safe for you.
Remember this when you buy and support local. Invest in the Northland.
Here's a live look from our Spirit Mountain camera. Things have cleared up since we got drenched this morning and greened up as well. Meteorologist Dave Anderson will join us soon with what sounds like some good news for the rest of the week.
But first, a home run for young athletes on the Iron Range, and Hermantown begins a major improvement project. We're taking you around the Northland, city by city. Bases will be loaded in Virginia this summer. The city announced it will move forward with its summer softball season. Youth teams are only allowed to hold practices with 10 players or less. They hope to allow games soon. In Hermantown, a groundbreaking today for major improvements to the school district's football field. It's all thanks to a $1 million donation last year from Centricity Credit Union, which will now have the naming rights for the stadium. Construction will continue throughout the summer. We'll have much more on this project coming up tonight in sports. And over in Wisconsin, where cable is moving forward with a new spin on a popular summer program. The Cable Natural History Museum had to cancel its annual Junior Nature List program this year due to COVID-19. But they've added new elements for campers, including weekly activity kits and Zoom classes. This will mark the program's 30th year. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, go ahead and send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, a federal investigation is now underway into what caused 2 dam failures in central Michigan.
Despite morning rain, it looks like a grand day in Grand Portage. Will it stay that way for the week ahead, or will we get peppered with more thunderstorms? I'll show you that 7-day forecast coming up right after our break.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to Live Local CBS3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
It's BOGO time. Buy one rug at sale price and get another rug free at Homeworld Rugs. Mix and match from over 30 patterns and up to 11 sizes. Rug experts in every showroom can help you find the perfect rug. Buy one, get one rug free. Now in all home furniture locations.
There's a feeling you get when old meets new, the past meets the future. It's not comfortable, but it feels good. Duluth Pack, since 1882.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
How about we begin today with a little bit of optimism? There's a big development on the testing front. What's the balance, do you think, Doctor, between hope and honesty for the public as we navigate this virus? What changes can we expect as consumers moving forward? While we have to maintain social distance, you don't have to be emotionally distant from each other. If you're one of those essential workers, we thank you, thank you, thank you. Knowledge and information are power. The more we know, the better off we are.
Home Furniture presents our Memorial Day sale. For a limited time, enjoy 10% savings on all Stickley. Own a piece of stunningly crafted history from Stickley during Home Furniture's Memorial Day sale.
The 2020 Honda Rubicon at RJ Sport and Cycle.
Northland, when you want the most new country, make the switch to Cat Country 98.9 KTCO.
Never met a girl like you. What makes you country?
#1 for the most new country.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
This live look shows us the scene in Ascover. It's a nice day down there as well. It's going to become warm days for everybody by tomorrow. It was a slower process today. We started off on a cool note. Some towns are now finishing in the 80s. Others are still playing catch-up. I think most of us will get into the 80s tomorrow, and maybe a two-day warm spell where most of our region does crack the 80-degree mark before we fall back towards the 70s for the later part of this week here and into the weekend. Right now, current conditions at the airport in Duluth show 69 degrees there, so that's one of the towns still playing catch-up for temperatures. Partly cloudy sky in the wake of that low-pressure system that did bring morning showers and thunderstorms. Southerly wind right now is what's helping to warm things up, and the relative humidity, 65%. May start to feel a bit muggy for folks, but perhaps a nice note would be that the muggier it feels, the lower the fire danger is going to be out there, because that problem is still out there. We haven't received all the rain that we need yet. And here's a look at that temperature profile then. Our eastern zones on the cool side, 60 to 65 degrees in Ironwood, 73 in Ashland, starting to get there, only 57 cooler by the lake in Superior, but 82 for Moose Lake, 77 Solon Springs, 79 Hibbing, 81 degrees International Falls. International Falls is leading the way. You know, they're the cold spot in the winter, but they're often among the warmest in the summertime, and summer is not that far away, so it is going to warm up for a pair of days into the 80s, like I mentioned. Here's our Doppler map right now showing that occluded low working through this morning and now starting to exit our region. Its wraparound still could bring in a couple of clouds tonight and a couple of sprinkles for Minnesota, and there's a very vague chance tomorrow that we could get just a little bit of precipitation coming around here. Oh, I'm thinking from Aitkin County into Carleton County, and then maybe parts of Wisconsin tomorrow, but that chance is only 20%. Taking a look at the bigger picture here, higher pressure from the west is going to take over, keep us on the dry side. No, not for the weekend, but for Tuesday. But then by Thursday, our next rain shower chance does come around, and that one looks to be about a 30% shot right now. Weather temperatures tonight, yeah, that's the best kind, weather temperatures. They'll run in Minnesota from 50 to 59 degrees, cooler by the lake, warmer down towards Moose Lake, partly cloudy for most places with stray showers up north. And then for Wisconsin, Michigan, I think partly cloudy, low temps 57 to 62. Tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, high temps 82 to 88 degrees. Just a 20% chance for some showers and thunderstorms near Hayward. Otherwise, a partly cloudy day. And in Minnesota, yeah, there we go. There's that 20% chance for Aitkin and Carleton counties to get a little precip in the afternoon, perhaps triggered in part by the heat of the day, which could go from 79 to 85 away from the lake. The extended forecast shows sunny and warm, probably through Wednesday, then cloudier, a hair cooler, and a little stormier for Thursday, and then we descend into 67 to 70 range for the weekend. And for some folks, a cool down like that will be a blessing. Some of us don't like it that hot. For those who enjoy the heat, Tony, Kristen, get it now while you can.
All right, thanks, Dave. A federal committee is now investigating what caused a central Michigan dam to fail, forcing 11,000 people to evacuate their homes. It happened 2 weeks ago in Midland County. Now, the U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee is giving the state 2 weeks to answer questions about inspections and oversight. The House Committee wants Michigan to explain why it found the dam in fair condition 2 years ago.
Even though the majority of the $343 million Twin Ports Interchange project will not start until next spring, crews are doing some work to get ready right now. Duluth Central Entrance, also known as Highway 194, will serve as one of the main detours for the Can of Worms project. Today, we learned crews will start repaving the road starting July 6th to help it handle the extra traffic. You can see the two sections impacted on your screen. MnDOT expects repaving to take 2 weeks, and most work will be done at night. The goal of the Twin Ports Interchange project is to increase safety where I-35, I-535, and Highway 53 all come together. A $100 million funding shortfall forced MnDOT to push back the original spring start date.
19 people have applied for an open seat on the Duluth City Council. The application process closed at 4:30 today. City councilors will interview the candidates virtually on Thursday. From there, they'll narrow the field before selecting a final candidate. You can check out our website, CBS3Duluth.com, for more information on each candidate. The seat was left vacant when Barb Russ stepped down for health reasons.
Still to come, a historic liftoff for astronauts back at the International Space Station. Coming up, a look inside that station.
I don't know how we would have survived without MediaCom. We have 5 kids, and we have MediaCom for all of our internet and all of our cable services. So I'm stuck in my house, but at the same time, I'm connected to people all over the world. It's been fantastic.
Right now, we all feel like the world is in a standstill. The internet has played a huge role in allowing us to stay connected to our jobs and stay connected with the ones that we love. We couldn't do it without MediaCom.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. Seeing our friends and family up close and personal with video chat is wonderful these days. And it's even better if you look and feel your best. So how does Plexiderm perform to shrink the appearance of wrinkles, under eye bags, and fine lines on a video conversation?
It's amazing. My friends, my family, they can't believe it. They're all calling. There's been creams, there's been lotions, concealers. Nothing works like this.
When I tried Plexiderm the first time, my daughter said, "Oh, Dad, did you get a haircut?" And I said, "No, I didn't get a haircut. I tried this Plexiderm product out. Oh, you look so much younger." I said, "Oh, thank you."
We've created the best offer yet with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. We know you want to look and feel your best. So before you step in front of that video chat, Plexiderm your crow's feet, Plexiderm your fine lines, and Plexiderm your wrinkles and those pesky 11 lines between your eyes, and watch them visibly shrink from view in 10 minutes. Plexiderm works so well, makeup artists, celebrities in Hollywood, and even people across the country just like you feel years younger in minutes.
Oh my God. I can't believe I have no lines in my face. I'm like 20 years younger.
Yeah, this looks really good. All these lines are gone. Amazing. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I look amazing. That's like so full of myself.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, is that really me?
The instant results are from silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under eye bags and wrinkles from view in minutes. And the effects last up to 10 hours. Yes, the science is incredible, but the results even better. So if under eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, take action with the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Look incredible on your next video call and get up to 50% off the normal retail price. Plus, get free shipping. Visit Plexiderm.com or call the number on your screen.
When severe weather hits, tuned to CBS3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS3 Duluth.
As businesses reopen, it's important to support the shops, dealerships, and service providers who hire local workers and drive our economy.
I don't know anybody that works at Amazon, but I have friends and neighbors who work at local businesses.
You can help. Spend your money here. Shop local when you shop online. Mini deliver or have curbside pickup.
And they're keeping things safe for you.
Remember this when you buy and support local. Invest in the Northland.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
This morning, 2 NASA astronauts on a historic SpaceX mission woke up on board the International Space Station.
On Saturday, the astronauts became the first Americans sent into orbit by a private company. It was also the first crewed launch from American soil in almost a decade.
CBS News' Mark Strassman has more on what's next for the team.
Dragon SpaceX docking sequence is complete.
A 19-hour journey into space history was over. The Crew Dragon capsule docked.
Happy to be aboard.
And astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley boarded the International Space Station.
From SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station.
Their journey started Saturday afternoon. This Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
President Trump and Vice President Pence were on hand to witness the launch.
You feel the shake over here. It's pretty amazing. A beautiful sight, a beautiful ship, too.
NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine.
This has been a long time in the making, and I think it's been really astonishing to see how it came together.
During their flight, the astronauts showed off the space capsule. They named it Endeavour, after the shuttle both of them flew in their first trip to space.
It has a touch display screen.
The capsule has been compared to flying an iPhone. Hurley said it flew just as it was supposed to.
Dragon was huffing and puffing all the way into orbit.
A third passenger was a stowaway, a toy dinosaur.
We do have an Apatosaurus aboard.
Both astronauts have young sons, no doubt proudly watching their dads make space history.
This is just one effort that we can show for the ages in this dark time that we've had over the past several months to kind of inspire, especially the young people in the United States, to reach for these lofty goals and work hard and look what you can accomplish.
Pretty cool to see. The astronauts will spend somewhere between 6 weeks and 4 months aboard the space station.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, more than 40 cities under curfew tonight as protests continue across the country calling for racial justice, and why the president is calling governors weak. Plus, an independent autopsy of George Floyd finds he died from asphyxia. Could the other 3 officers face charges in his death? And our conversation with historian and Smithsonian head Lonnie Bunch, where he says this moment must be a tipping point for racial equality. That's all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to Live Local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
Bars and restaurants are back open. Coming up tonight at 6, how the weather earlier today affected the turnout.
Today's temperatures started off cool for most towns, but finished warm for others. That's a sign of a warm spell coming our way. I'll talk about how long it'll last.
Tonight at 6.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS 3 News with Kristen Baki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS 3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live Local CBS 3 Duluth.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to Live Local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m.
Duluth's downtown waterfront district is starting to reopen. Our small, locally owned businesses have hope. They're excited to safely serve you, and most of all, They miss you. Now is the time to show your support and invest in buying locally. When you support a local business owner and their employees, your dollars stay in our community right where they belong. It gives a jump start to our economy when it's needed more than ever. We can do this. Let's show our love for downtown Duluth small businesses. Together, we are stronger.
I'm Dr. Carolyn Phelps, licensed psychologist. In the wake of this pandemic, many of us are feeling over-challenged and overwhelmed. If you or someone you care about is struggling with anxiety, depression, or any other mental health problem, please know this: getting help matters. Mental health care is essential care, and it's still available. Simply contact a local mental health care provider yourself or ask someone you trust whom they'd recommend. Now more than ever, reach out for help.
Find your favorite CW shows on the Duluth CW, cable, satellite, over the air, and streaming on KDLH Duluth.
Before we go, here's a quick look at the top stories on CBS3 News. Live at 5, the family of George Floyd says an independent autopsy has found that he died of asphyxiation from sustained pressure on his back and neck. The family's autopsy differs from the official autopsy as described in a criminal complaint.
We're also learning Duluth police have made an arrest after a Quick Trip employee was assaulted during Saturday night's protests. We'll hear from that employee coming up tonight at 10.
And tonight at 6, Minnesota salons were also able to reopen today. We'll take an inside look at how one Duluth salon made changes to comply with the governor's order and how your experience getting a haircut will change. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is up next.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 6.